you care, but I don't know. Your words can't shake my bones, though I'm stronger than you know. Your fire can't melt my soul, no, no.
Do a little chatting.
Yep.
Piss a few people off. A lot more than a few, probably. Everyone.
We're going to piss a lot of people off, but I think we're going to also make a lot of people happy because we're going to say what they
everybody's
want to
thinking,
say,
I
what they're
feel.
thinking. We're going to say the quiet part out loud.
If you don't find something to relate to, like, get out of here.
Get out.
Look right in the eyes. Get out.
Out.
I'm just kidding.
Bye.
In the shadows, I found my light. In the chaos, I found my fight.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, and welcome back to the Unfiltered and Unfazed podcast. I'm your host, Tessa, and this is...
Heather, we are glad to have you back.
Yeah, so exciting. So fresh, so fun. Who loved last episode?
It was good.
It was good.
It was
actually
super
pretty
long,
good.
and we appreciate all of you. That
Stuck around and watched the whole thing. Like, much appreciated. I've personally gotten like tons of like positive feedback.
100%.
Yeah, like all of my friends are like, oh my god, like it felt so cool just like having you playing in my living room, and
Right.
like it was like hanging out, and I loved it, and I was like, good.
Which is the goal.
Exactly.
We know we were gonna piss people off. Like, definitely the furry community.
Oh my
lost
God.
their shit on TikTok. Like, absolutely lost their mind. And we kind of expected it, but they were real personal.
They were very personal. They think we're so hot though. Like, and that's the one thing that I took from it is every single comment was like, oh my god, you're so sexy. Like, I think that's the funniest thing in the world. Oh, I was
okay,
like,
bye.
I already said tons of funny things. No.
Like, the beginning of the first episode, we were like, oh, fuck.
literally.
Our producer, he's on top of his shit.
That's so funny. It sounds so funny to say producer.
I have to say it because it just cracks
no,
me
yeah,
up.
yeah. No, I think it's so funny as well.
So I also had talked about that I'm going to address a comment that was made on the YouTube.
Okay.
And let me turn my phone off.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Like-
I put mine on D&D. I was like, whoop.
Whoops. Right. That was on, what did I say? YouTube. On YouTube. On the YouTube video that I did with my husband's podcast, Counterculture. And so I want to say it to you so that you can tell me what your take on it is.
Okay.
So I was like randomly, it's because I was showing my mom. My mom was like, oh, I want to see. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was on that one too. And I'm looking at the comments and I was like, wait, are you serious? And me and my husband were like, okay. All right. So we're super personal with the comment.
Okay.
And it basically started with, hold on, I'm gonna read like some of it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I
We love a little drama.
Oh, I do. I really, honestly, I wish that I could say that I don't love drama, but
You know what? And I don't think we do. We don't love it, but this is like, and this was totally expected. We knew that this was coming.
Yeah.
I knew that, I didn't think it'd come this soon.
Yeah.
But it came because he's had a podcast and he never got this type of comment.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as I showed my face.
Right.
So it's from a male name, but I'm going to let you go ahead and take the reins once I read it.
Okay. I'm listening.
All this talk from someone who has been married to a cop for not even 6 months or been a cop herself. Also, didn't you pursue Tyler while he was married? Going to lose him how you get him, honey. The only stupid woman is you masquerading as a seasoned cop's wife and a good Christian woman. Humble yourself.
Sorry, hold on.
Okay, so let's break it down. Let's break it down. So I'm sitting here like...
Right.
Wait, hold on. What does it matter? I don't care if I've been married to him for a week. I see what he goes through every day.
Right.
And nor did I ever say I was a seasoned cop wife.
Right.
But
what does that even mean?
There are other cops out in the world aside from Tyler.
Right.
Like, family members. I have friends that are married to cops. I know other officers. Like, what does that mean? So you can't possibly know how they live or what they go through. Like, so anyways, that was at least my concerns. That is fine because you know what? It hasn't been that long since we've been married. We've been together longer than that. But Pursue Tyler while he was married. Let's talk about that.
Right.
So, that's not true.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, I know
What
that
do you
that's not true.
mean?
We've talked
Anybody
about
who
it.
knows me would die. Y'all, I already can hear all my friends like fucking cackling right now.
No, seriously.
Everybody he knows cackling. Like,
well, and I've never known you to pursue.
okay. So that's
Okay. Like,
so that's the second part we're going to address is pursue.
Yeah.
That's so funny because neither of us actually really pursued each other. So the best part about that is I've never pursued anybody in my life. That's not even like a I'm hot shit thing, but like most women don't. It's typical not to. But
I feel like that's normal.
That's normal.
Yeah.
But at that time, when we started talking, not only was I hanging up the robe per se of being in a relationship with somebody, the last thing I was doing was pursuing any man. In fact, I was having to, deny a couple that were trying to take advantage of my grief, and my trauma, which, this person who made this comment obviously is not aware that, at that time I was finally just starting to come out of the trenches of witnessing a really horrific, traumatic thing that even Tyler as a cop or some of his friends as veterans, and Tyler's a veteran also, are like, holy shit. You what? You saw what? You went through what?
Exactly.
So trigger warning, it has to do.
I was like, I literally can't even conceptualize. And like, I've seen some crazy shit too.
Right.
And so I can't, I'm stuttering.
Yeah.
You feel like it's like, that is insane that you even like made it through something like that.
So we are going to have a whole episode on our kind of like traumas to discuss, not to identify us as trauma survivors, but as warriors where we made it to the other side. And so can you. But so little does that person know that at that time I had just recently, given my heart and soul to Jesus Christ. And, they also, we'll talk about their next comment on me being, not a Christian woman. And then the fact that I had, even told my therapist, I was like, look, I'm okay with never doing this again. And I was okay with that. I was focusing on my kids, my job, living my life, and I was happy. And so for them to say I pursued a married man, like, is, again, I already can hear the people listening, like hyperventilating, laughing at this person. So, and obviously, as a woman in an adult relationship with a man who's an adult, we're going to be 40 here soon. I have all of his documents and records. I have a folder with all of our important documents. When you get married, guys, there's a little thing you have to fill out, which is like, were you ever married before? I have divorce records. I have the court records. I know exactly when divorce was even filed. And so you're a sick individual to say that about somebody, because that makes me look awful. B, that makes us both look like we started our relationship in a really negative way. You know what? If y'all have done that before, no judgment. But that's not my cup of tea, and that's not his cup of tea. So with, all that being said, they basically said that I pursued a married man, which is disgusting. So, I mean, I can think that you'll agree with the, tell me you're a bitter ex without telling me you're a bitter ex.
No.
Or a bitter ex's friend without telling me you're a bitter ex's friend.
Can I just say that the first thing that I noticed about this comment was like, it's super long, right?
It's a paragraph.
Right. And
a man is never going to do that.
I've never known a man to care. Like
Tyler was like, not one person, a man I know on this planet. I don't think that's
a guy.
Ever.
No
man would say honey.
No.
So no, there was no cheating. There was no adultery. There,
Right. It does feel bitter. It does feel bitter. Yeah.
So it gets better. So then a person comments back, and again, he's like, no one's going to comment back that I know or that I work with or like anything to do with that. And they said, cringe. The people at his job know his true story. So he's like, so now they're trying to say I'm not only an adulterer, but a bad cop and this and that. So there's like a lot of bitterness and personal shit here. So then another person comments and says, ironic how worried they are about inappropriate relationships with the opposite sex, yet their entire relationship is built on adultery. Not very Christian of them. So So what do? We say, okay, so this is it. That's it. And then
Right.
and then the person, that first person that commented, replies with PSD investigation awaits, which is like an internal affairs type investigation.
yeah.
So now we're talking about his career that supports a family and children.
Right.
One of those children, not to say that any of them are more important than others, but one
Right.
of those children being a child who, lost his dad in a
Right.
very traumatic way and
Yeah.
witnessed it. And I don't think they realize the severity of what they're talking about here, trying to be petty little fucking
Right.
bitches.
No, literally.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we went ahead and looked at the accounts, Tessa.
Right.
The comment was made on May 2nd, both of those comments.
Okay.
Can you take a wild guess when the accounts were made?
Was it May 2nd?
It was made,
Oh,
both of them.
On May 2nd, both
of them.
accounts?
Both
were
of them were made
created
on,
the same
were
day.
created on YouTube on May 2nd.
That's crazy.
You guys, we don't care. We're going to get haters, and we're okay with that. Not only are we okay with that, we welcome that, because we welcome other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we have to agree with it, and we're going to keep quiet about it.
And
but
I
we
won't
welcome
agree
it.
with you. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm kind of a bit
someone took the time to make 2 accounts. Okay.
on the same day.
On the same day.
So they really had
to
time
have
that
a
day.
conversation with themselves about our marriage.
Yeah.
About me as a person and
Right.
Tyler as a person. That's different than being a hater.
Yeah.
And
seems
that
like-
type of stuff we're not going to tolerate. I'm not going to tolerate it for myself. I'm not going to tolerate it for Tessa. I'm not going to tolerate it for anybody she knows, and I'm not going to tolerate
Right.
it for my husband. So you made yourself look really fucking stupid. You're talking about his career and livelihood that supports a family and children. So what does that say about you?
Right.
You're wrong in pretty much everything you said.
Yeah.
So that also tells me that you're bitter. So I think it's time, whoever you are, we have some inklings.
I think I saw a thing or two that made me have an inkling as to who
I
it could
think so.
possibly be as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. There's a lot of information that
Is on the internet that you can just clearly see.
right.
Yeah,
So
when
we
you-
understand somebody could have seen when we got married because we
Right.
posted it.
Right.
So that's fine. So we're like, okay, that explains that. That could just be a person, but
Right.
the rest of it seems really oddly
Right.
personal, and maybe that's how they felt.
Yeah.
They maybe thought, we were involved a long time
Right.
ago,
Right.
but we weren't. I was in no position to be involved with anybody. I
Right.
can attest. I can say that wholeheartedly to the
Yeah.
point, like I said, there was people trying,
Of course. Yeah.
and my husband's fully aware of them,
Yeah.
and which I find gross, because I was going through something. It's like, oh, let me sneak in while this person's so vulnerable.
Yeah. Vulnerable and disadvantaged. Yeah.
But so again, we're not going to address all the haters. We're not going to address all the
No.
comments, right?
No, but that one in particular, it's giving very well, because I also know this about you, that your account is private, your main account is private.
Right.
So obviously somebody would have had to see a thing from a thing from a thing.
Right.
So it's
Right.
while some of this information is super public, some of it is not.
Yeah.
And so you kind of really give yourself away when you are
Yeah.
throwing out
Yeah.
information
you
that's
had
not
to
just
dig,
general.
you had to
Yeah,
investigate.
you had to investigate.
So that tells me that you, again, had a certain type of feeling that maybe you thought that was going on,
Yeah.
and you're wrong. And, to say those things, and again, to bring up his job is really disturbing.
Right.
And I find that to be not only immature,
Right.
but a level of petty that even, my husband deals with petty shit all day
Right.
long with all his
Right.
podcasts and platforms. Even he was like, we're not upset or bothered to the fact that
No.
we're hurt, because I
No.
don't want to give that person that satisfaction.
Right.
We're disgusted and embarrassed for you.
Right.
Because that was embarrassing, to
Yeah.
say the least. And for somebody to
Exactly.
make 2 YouTube accounts to make that comment.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's crazy.
Girl, and I'm not gonna. I know it's not a man. Sorry,
No,
Kyle.
it's-
It was no Kyle. Girl. You
what
need
was the
to,
other one?
Jungle.
Sorry. What? Okay, that's funny.
So this was a girl.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does sound like it was a girl.
And nor am I worried that it was like a jaded girl that, he was messing around with. Like,
Right.
Here's the thing. We are so transparent. I have every password to, not because he's like, oh, I don't have anything to hide, because we do businesses together.
Right.
We run things together.
Exactly.
I have passwords. I have documents.
He has a high risk job that
Right.
what if you need to
Right.
get into something?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's not just like oh, well, you must be insecure if you have his
No. Yeah.
so fucking for real.
I
Like-
never claimed to be a seasoned cop wife, but I do claim to be the wife of a law enforcement officer, which I am.
Mm-hmm.
So the day we got married, I became a wife of a law enforcement officer.
Right.
Sorry, guys, but I did.
Like, there's not like a trial period, and then eventually
Right.
after 60 days,
all of a sudden
you're,
now I get it.
Right.
Right. So
You got your
like
little
I said,
certificate in the mail.
right. And I have very good friends. In fact, I have a very good friend that I met by chance at a playground, and the kids were playing, and her husband was, he's retired now, but he was 28 years in, and we talk a lot, and she tells me a lot of stories and advice, and,
Right.
it's just funny. And they said, and a cop herself, which, gives some information
Yeah.
away, because the whole point was that I cannot relate to what he goes through. I can only
Right.
relate to what I see.
Right.
And being on the other side of it. So no, I know I'm not a cop, because
Right.
you know what, as a woman and the type of woman I am, I don't think I could be.
Oh, I couldn't.
I'm sorry. Is that
Are you kidding me? I've tried to fight a grown man before.
right? Like,
And-
the difference is we have enough,
wherewithal to know. Like,
wherewithal
I
to know. I
can't.
couldn't. I'm probably too emotional. I'd
Yeah.
probably snap on somebody. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
couldn't
myself
do it.
personally. Yeah. Like,
so.
and I'm not, if somebody out there is like, doing a great job at it, cool or whatever, but like, I just know for a fact that like, I've tried to fight a grown man before, and I thought, and it was somebody that was not like ginormous,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And I lost so badly in the first 10 seconds that I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's
my God.
what's typically going to happen. And
Yeah,
I do
'cause
know,
I really
like I said,
thought-
when I was
yeah.
bodybuilding and,
Right.
could I find a 5'3", 120-pound dude and probably beat his ass?
Yeah.
Sure.
But it still would
That's
be
not the
difficult. Like,
average.
it would still be
Yeah.
hard because
And
they're
that's-
just stronger.
right.
Like,
and that's not the common man and criminal that you're going to be fighting out in
No.
the street.
No,
but
usually they're big and strong.
again, and I do know some very, very good female cops. Like, we're
Yeah.
not anti-female
No,
cops.
no,
but we
absolutely
know
not.
that, and they,
I just know
they
that I don't have
too.
it in me. Yeah.
And it's just, we want you to know we know.
Yeah.
And there's an old saying me and my friend Megan used to say, and we'd literally just be like, we know. Because, we thought
yeah.
that one of her exes was not straight.
Oh.
And I don't want to throw her to there. I know a lot of
Right,
Megans,
right.
mind you. I have like 12 Megans on mine. So
Yeah.
good luck trying to find it. But, and so we would just sometimes just text each other back like we know.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
it was just like an
sometimes you
inside
just
like
know.
we know. So we
Yeah.
know, who made that comment. For the most part, we know it was a female. We know that they're trying to make both of us look bad. We can assure everyone that none of that bullshit is true.
Yeah.
And we really don't need to explain it to anybody, but
Yeah.
we want them to know.
Right.
they're
It's
fucking
just like,
stupid
I
as
know.
fuck.
And because they're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching.
They're watching.
Like, that's the only,
you're
like,
watching, you made accounts, like you're embarrassing, and I
Right.
feel bad for you, and we're going to pray for you.
Yeah.
And you can call me a bad Christian, and I don't know if you guys, the person who did that or is watching, knows anything about Christianity, but
right.
we all sin. I
Right.
know it's crazy
Like,
concept, right?
It is. It's like the thing actually like that makes Christianity a thing,
Right.
Like at all.
Like,
if we weren't sinners, by the way, if we weren't, then there would have been no need for Jesus to give his life on the cross and for us to have forgiveness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of weird concept.
Crazy, right?
Crazy concept.
And
Like, we're not
also-
perfect all the time.
Yeah, and also like I feel like Judas wasn't a Christian? Question mark. Peter wasn't a Christian? Question mark. All the disciples, they weren't Christians? Question mark.
And
Peter chopped someone's ear off.
right, and that's
Like-
that brings me to why I
Right.
gave my life and my heart and my soul and surrendered, because I'm not perfect, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I alone cannot do this.
Exactly. It's your personal journey. Like,
Right.
like it's all within yourself. And for someone to get on the internet and be like, well, you're not a good Christian. Okay, well, that tells me a lot right there. Well, first of all, you're not being a good Christian right there.
Right.
Because
Which I don't think they are, because,
No.
you know, the type of people that would do that are most likely some, you know, like I said, we have a feeling we know who, probably an ex. Not going to say for sure, you know.
Right. It's just
but,
a feeling.
You know, very probably young-minded, you know, anti-Christian.
Yeah, just very
anti-man.
very bitter.
Very bitter.
Yeah, very bitter.
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, haters are going to
100%.
hate.
Look,
like,
we've all been there, and, you know,
Yeah.
say we've moved on, and even maybe
Right.
be in a new relationship
Right.
or having kids with somebody else.
Yeah.
And you aren't moved
Right.
on.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you know, even if it was you that decided to
Right.
leave the relationship, maybe you were like, oh shit, I didn't really want to do that. And they
Right.
were like, okay, bye.
right.
Because I've seen women do that. Women do that all the time. Women
Me
do that
too.
more than men.
I
I retract.
I would say like,
I retract the statement.
I would say 60-40. I would say
60-40. I retract
Yeah.
the statement. I say men do it too, but they do
Yeah.
the I'm leaving you thing,
Yeah.
thinking that
but
it's
they don't
gonna-
like actually do the leave part.
right, or they do
Yeah.
and think that you're going to be like, no, no, no. And then when you say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they're like, wait, fuck.
They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
they're like, oops.
Yeah.
Well,
Which-
now I have no choice but to move on. And so now I'm going to be a
Exactly.
bitter fuck.
Exactly.
And, you know, so I had to address that.
Right.
And like I said, I know all the people that know either me or you or Tyler listening are just like, girl.
I just blew the smoke right in front of that camera.
That's okay. That's okay. We don't
Sorry.
judge.
I go.
Right? Like the like this people that blow clouds.
I do like the circles.
Oh my god! A funny story. My grandpa used to do that with cigarettes, and I'd put my finger through them. Nowadays, people would be like horrified.
Yeah.
But that was like, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but back then, like smoking was cool.
It was not a big deal. My grandpa, it was like our bonding time. I'd be out in the patio with him, and
I'm
he'd
like-
be like blowing smoke rings and putting my finger through them. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
Exactly.
Which I don't condone, because I do.
Yeah.
If I see somebody smoking by a kid, I'm like,
No,
yo,
just
yo.
don't. No, not by children. Like, it's just that, like, they need all the air they can get. You know what I mean? Like, they're
In
developing.
this environment, because we'll get to that too.
Yeah.
Chemtrails, you know.
Exactly. No, for real.
We're going to talk about conspiracies today.
Yeah.
So on that note, I had to address it.
Yeah.
You know, Tyler was like, yeah, 100%. Like, we have nothing to hide. Like,
No,
do your thing.
there is nothing to hide, and that's the thing about it, and that's the thing that I love about the internet is because people who are like bitter and jealous and hateful, they love to try to bring someone down.
Right.
But like the thing about it is like people like you and I, it's like we have been through so much adversity in life. Like I do not give a fuck what you think about me.
No.
Like I truly
No.
don't. Like I genuinely sometimes I sit and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try really hard to give a fuck today. I promise I'm going to try so
Yeah.
hard. And then I try and I just can't do it. It's
no,
like
because you are secure in who you are.
Yeah, I'm
and
like-
you know, when people try to do shit like that, somebody commented once on, and you'll notice these are all pages that are new or have
Right.
0 followers. Somebody
Right.
commented on our wedding post once that said something like, oh bro, I know her. Me and all my friends could ruin your guys' relationship with all the videos we have or something. And it was like, of her making us all very happy. And I was like,
what?
What
does
wrong?
that even mean?
Like what? Like a gangbang? Like what are you
like,
talking
that's what I'm
about?
like,
Which
what are you
also
talking
is not
about?
true. And it's like, why would you say, like, again, a man wouldn't say that.
No.
This is like
No,
a
and the only
specific
time a
type
man
of
would say
person.
that is if like he is like
Like
a
a
psychopath.
or
like,
I could see a good friend that
Right.
like sees their buddy dating like a new girl, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't put it as a comment on Instagram. They'd hit the person up and be like,
No.
bro,
Yeah.
let me tell you something about her.
Right.
Think maybe one more time,
Exactly.
think it through.
exactly. Like as a friend, like as someone, like if I ever actually, I'll give a little bit of a specific example. Like one time I was dating this guy, and one of my friends saw him out at IHOP with another girl. Right.
Right.
She didn't comment on his thing and
She
said,
didn't comment on his Instagram.
It's
Be like, I saw you.
I saw you
IHOP
with
one
another
time."
girl, and then tag me in it. Like
Right.
she didn't do that.
No,
she
she's gonna-
texted me.
Yes.
She texted me.
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey, girl," and I go, "Take a picture." Like,
Right. 100%. It's happened to me
Yeah.
before too.
Yeah,
And you
and-
know what? that's why it didn't affect our relationship.
Exactly. It's
but
not, it's
we were
weird.
like, and obviously the comments are gone.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you that pathetic?
No, seriously.
Like, I don't think that I've ever been that bitter at like an ex.
No, to
that
comment on something.
I cared enough.
Right.
That I'd go comment. Never in a million years would I
No.
waste my time doing that. But that
No.
also goes back to like being secure enough with yourself. Like, I wouldn't waste.
Right.
Would I?
No, I would just text the ex at that
right.
point. I'm not going to go and do all this effort of like, blah, 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 blah. I would just text him and be like, you're actually a piece of shit.
And make
Send.
accounts the same day.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like,
That's
I'd
weird.
even feel better if you had like a burner account that you were using to do it, but you made the accounts the same day. You made them to make the comment.
Right.
And you made 2.
Which is so strange.
Did you think we couldn't see that you made them that day?
Right.
So we'll move forward from this because I think you've gotten way too much time and
Yeah.
you've gotten way too much attention. But just know, you need to move. You need to move
Just move
forward.
on,
You
move
need to move
forward.
on.
It's
You
okay.
it's okay. Yeah. Like, there's no hate. We pray for you, whoever you are.
Right.
You know, please get the help you need and like just maybe
Yeah.
give yourself, you know, to
It
Jesus
really made me
or
want to just
some-
go. And that brings me to our first sponsor, BetterHelp. It's an online therapy
It's an
service.
yes,
Like,
yes.
it's affordable. It takes insurance.
you know,
BetterHelp,
maybe
sponsor us.
Consider like some therapy or, you know,
Yeah.
really reevaluating. And I like what you usually say, which is like, look within.
Yeah, just look within. Because usually that's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's like right in there.
Yeah.
So.
But, and definitely do not,
Yeah.
you know, speak on my husband's job or career. That's really, really, really low. And
Yeah, it is. It is.
that's affecting a lot of people's lives.
Right,
And,
right.
you know, you should really think twice before doing that because it just really says that you're a person that is okay with that.
Right,
And that
right.
should really take some self-evaluation and reevaluation
Completely.
as to why you are willing to do that.
Right. Like, it's just like, why? Just like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's just simple.
Yeah.
A simple little.
Okay, so it's hard. It's hard to let this go, but we're gonna
Yeah.
let it go. I think you understood
Yeah.
exactly who it
yeah,
probably
I
is.
think I know who it is
But
too.
again, all of it false, and we're gonna move forward, and we're all laughing at you.
Yeah.
So that
That was a real one.
was a real laugh.
I actually, for a second there, at first it was a fake laugh, but
And
then
it
a
came
real
out-
laugh
it
started
came out,
happening.
It started coming.
I was like, yeah.
So we want to talk a little bit today about conspiracies, which
Yeah.
we know is totally done and
Yeah.
overdone, but
Yeah.
we want to talk about like there's old ones that coincide with new ones.
Right, right.
So-
and I think that there are a couple, like for myself in specific. Sorry, I wanted this to be down so you guys could see my cool sleeves, but I have to roll
is it
them
hot?
up. I'm getting to business.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
no,
we're
I just
getting
have this
serious.
thing. I'm getting serious. So, okay, so the main 3 that like I really think to touch on is like obviously moon landing and people like, the moon landing, blah blah blah. Okay, yes, but then also MK Ultra.
Okay.
Okay, and then also the third one is Dr. Feelgood, which is
Wait, what is-
Max. This one
Okay.
is special. It's the guy that was giving injections to JFK.
Oh,
The
I
wellness injections.
I don't know that one.
It's well, let me tell you.
But I'd like to.
It's
But the reason,
crazy.
okay, so like when we're going to talk about the moon landing and how it did not happen,
Right.
And that coincides with today's
right.
charade, which is
Yeah.
Katy Perry
Yeah, the
and
Katy Perry.
Gail.
Well, it's the
It didn't happen.
I don't
You
think
guys-
they went to the moon, guys. Like, or no. I know they didn't go to the moon. I don't think they went to space at all.
No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Okay.
No.
It didn't happen. No one's going to convince us. And that's okay. You don't have to believe our
Right.
side. That's the difference here, too, is that
Right.
you don't have to agree with us.
Right.
That's okay.
It's okay.
But we are not going to change our mind. So you don't need to bother trying to convince us or showing us facts because it's been done. And
Right.
it's not, you're not going to change our mind.
Right. I've listened to so many because I love conspiracy theories. Like I'm very like I love them because like well, I love when they're like not conspiracy theories anymore and I'm like, well, I was right about something. Like if I have a feeling about
But there's still
something,
those people that are like,
I'm
oh,
like,
no.
it happened.
There
I'm
could be
like,
proof.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID. Sorry.
Oh.
But there's proof. There's proof.
yeah,
He
yeah,
admitted,
100%.
they admitted, Dr. Fauci admitted. There's a lot that
Well,
was
yeah, and
admitted,
then-
and they still, they still believe
There's
it.
public
That's
information
scary.
that the other 2 doctors that were like, oh no, this was not lab. There's public information that they got paid a huge amount to say that. And then they came out and publicly said, oh yeah, we got paid to lie.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, get vaccinated. I'm like,
friends and family in the medical field said the same thing. They were like, 100% we were told to put COVID death or positive tests, and it wasn't. They like died of a heart attack, but they could say, oh, well, they had COVID, you know,
because
2 weeks ago.
It's money. It's all
Right.
money. It's all money.
So that's a whole, like, that's like so fresh, and people are still such in denial about that. Not
Right.
everybody. A lot of people aren't. And if you
Right.
notice, it is a little bit more sided with the centrists and
Right.
the Republicans
Yeah,
or, you know, one side versus the other, which is really
Right.
odd that it turned political, because it
Yeah,
really
which is, it's not.
isn't.
Like I understand.
It's political in the way that the government.
Yeah, like
Right.
the propaganda agenda and like how
Yeah.
like the government controls the media to like skew our views of things and blah blah blah. Like that's all like, but they've been doing that forever. They've been doing that forever. Forever. They've never not done that. Like
Like, speaking of MK Ultra, like,
speaking of MK Ultra, okay, so hold on, let me pull up just some little facts about MK Ultra, because I love, so if you don't know, just the briefing of it, MK Ultra is when the government was conducting
yes, the CIA was giving
experiments on
drugs, essentially.
yeah, LSD specifically,
Yeah.
or other known as acid LSD, it's the same thing. But so basically they were conducting experiments on the American public without the
On
knowledge
humans,
of the
yeah.
American public. Yeah.
Right.
But they were doing it on prisoners as well. But then they started
I like how you're all and
no,
prisoners.
I'm like, and prisoners.
No big deal.
Well, no. You should not experiment on prisoners.
On humans.
On humans at all. You shouldn't experiment on any like living things, preferably.
Right.
Unless those living things are like, hey, you can experiment on me.
Right. Like, I'm signing up for this.
Right. If I sign up for it,
Right.
great. Like,
Right.
but if I don't, then, you know, maybe let's not do that.
Right.
But, so what they
I'm
started
gonna pull up
doing,
what I had on it too.
I love it. What they started doing is they started hiring sex workers, and they set up this like apartment complex building, right? And it had like a two-way mirror in it. And so they were
Okay, that
trying
I
to
did not see.
they were trying to research mind control on the human population. So what they would do is they hire these sex workers, and they would get these sex workers to go and get these Johns, and then they would dose the Johns with LSD as soon as they got into the room, so that they could see the effects of the brain control on the LSD. But what they actually learned is that with or without LSD, men confess their secrets after sex.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That is wild.
Isn't that interesting?
So all you got to do is give them some good sex.
Yeah, and then they will
you'll
start
get all
confessing their secrets. Espionage.
Oh, wow.
That's and do I think that's still happening today?
Yeah. I mean, guys.
That's I'm just saying.
What do you mean?
That was one of the most fascinating things about it.
And
for me.
psychological torture. Like,
So, yeah,
obviously that
psychological-
happens.
because it
Like,
started with like Project Bluebird in 1950. Like that's when this whole thing started. But I don't have this memorized. It's right here.
I
But
was like,
you're like, oh my god, you know
wow.
dates? No.
Wow.
But it started in the 50s. Officially, the official date is April 13th, 1953. That's like the first day of,
Okay.
which so weird because it's like that was like just happening like not that long ago. It's just
But
May.
they're saying too that it's turned into what they call a conspiracy now because of records being destroyed.
Like so many records got destroyed.
Is that not
That's like kind of proof that like,
like
I mean,
where
I'm just
are
saying,
we? Like, what is wrong with you?
like
people?
all of these things happen, and then there was like the scientist that like developed it all basically I don't know his name, so I'm not even gonna say it, but there was a scientist that was trying to develop a cure for my brain went blank.
That's okay.
Like a
And that's
scientist
why we
that-
keep it real here, baby. We're not
Exactly. I'm like,
scripted.
what
We
is it?
just
What
go as we go. We do try to learn and research facts. Or, okay, you may not call them facts, fact check.
Right.
But we find the things that we think back up what we're saying.
Yeah.
Which some could say is opinion on either side. So
Right.
that's fine. I won't call them facts. I will
Yeah.
call them information. So we don't get fucking attacked with that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Some of the things some of the things are facts. Like,
they're
but
facts.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. To us, to me, it's a fact. No, I'm just kidding. If
They're
I say
facts.
something, it's a fact. No, anything I say, a fact.
I don't know what that was, but something happened.
But that's so funny.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I like how they called it truth serum, which I
Yeah.
mean some may say is alcohol as well, but
No, for real,
just
for real,
saying,
for real.
which is a legal, everyday, common
Yeah,
used
exactly.
substance.
Commonly used substance.
Super weird.
Alcohol.
It's weird that that's not illegal because
No, it's one of the most brain altering substances.
brain altering, addicting,
like inhibition lowering.
the fact that you have to like medically detox from alcohol because you could die. I'm talking about people that obviously are like dependent
no,
on it.
because your body like
Shuts down.
Yeah.
So, but this is totally legal.
Yeah.
And okay.
Right.
And people are doing it every day.
Exactly.
So it's like, and you would think, and then people go, but why would they give us things that are bad for us? Why would they, are you guys,
if they want they
like cigarettes? Like,
yeah
and mind you,
yeah
I smoke here and there.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I literally been vaping on
this
this
is not
show.
me being like, oh,
no that cigarettes are so bad.
They are
No,
bad
it's
and they're
just-
legal.
Exactly. Like if the thing about the MK Ultra experiments as well that they were trying to do is they were basically trying to like brainwash people to try to get them to think in a way that they wanted them to think. And another crazy thing about it is the reason that I even brought up quote unquote Dr. Feelgood, it's Max Jacobson, is because it was happening at the same time as MK Ultra. So when MK Ultra started, President Kennedy was the president, and that's who was getting these injections from the other guy. And so like a lot of the decisions that were being made because he was literally on meth.
Right.
Yeah. And so
he
like
was under the influence essentially.
Yeah.
And it says here, I mean, there's like a lot of where they say the origin of it was to get prisoners of war or prisoners to admit, the truth of something. But as we know, that wasn't only used on those people.
No, they were used on the American public, but it was basically two guys that were in charge of it. It was like a don't ask, don't tell type thing. And so they were like, oh, well, it's classified, so we can't tell you anything. But I'm like, you're telling me the government funded a program that they couldn't know anything about?
Yeah. Right.
Right. That's crazy.
I mean,
I was like, you knew, like,
but it's like, it goes back to, love my mom, love my parents, but
right.
I don't want to say my parents, but like maybe my mom and grandma, like,
yeah.
Some people cannot fathom that the government would do things like
lie.
This. And so they just rather say, no, that's not possible. And
Right.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's totally
but
fine.
They're wrong.
Right. And it's just
wrong.
because like
but
history.
Right.
Yeah,
but
we've
they
seen
feel,
it over and over.
Nobody wants to admit they were duped or lied to
Right.
or believed something,
100%.
kind of like landing on the moon.
Exactly. Exactly.
Seeing
Because
the videos and pictures is like so alarming. And then the explanation of people saying, so we'll get into that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I jumped.
No, that's okay.
I
It's
jumped.
okay.
I jumped. ADHD.
That's what we do.
We jump. So let's continue.
We jump to conclusions.
But the MK Ultra thing is, okay. So the reason we bring it up too is because there are people, we may or may not be one of them, that think it still goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I absolutely do. Because what, one of the, allegedly, I can't say this one for a fact, but allegedly,
We're gonna come up missing.
one of the people that was tested on during MK Ultra was, I don't know if you've ever heard of Charles Manson before.
Oh my God.
And
I am mind blown right now.
And one of the things they were trying to do with MK Ultra is to get, like, basically make the perfect soldier.
Right.
And someone
Yes,
to
I've
just
heard-
kill on
yeah,
command.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that they were successful in that with that person that they may or may not have done experiments on, allegedly.
Right.
But I am saying that MK Ultra happened before the death of Sharon Tate. That's all I'm saying. Like those things.
I mean,
like,
who is it? See, this is why I should have notes, but we keep it raw.
Yeah.
We keep it real. The girl that just I know certain things, we can say certain things, but unalived herself. That was on the Epstein Island.
Oh, I don't
And
know.
she just unalived herself after
Right.
saying that she definitely would never do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, that also, funny enough, that happened during MK Ultra with a guy named Frank. He was like one of the main scientists behind the development, and he actually witnessed some very horrendous things, and then jumped to his death
Right.
from a balcony. But none of his wounds were consistent with the balcony jump. His wounds were consistent with blunt force trauma.
Bob Saget.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No,
right.
he didn't fall in his hotel room.
No, I don't think so.
You know, Chester Bennington, he didn't kill himself.
I don't believe that either. I don't believe for 1 second.
Chris Cornell also did not.
Yeah.
Like, so you're telling me these people that were all about to expose certain things.
Right.
Just, and you know, people will die on that hill. They'll be like, they were
even
so
Jeffrey Epstein
depressed.
himself. He killed
Interesting.
himself.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure.
Because he may have been able to give information that,
Right.
I mean, people would say, well, he knew his goose was cooked. So,
Well, yeah. Like, but even still, like, come on. Like, I just feel like when people have that much power and that much money, and especially when you allegedly have information on maybe allegedly the royal family.
allegedly. And let me
Yeah.
tell you something.
With the alleged pictures.
What you
Like-
guys will learn, and again, a lot of people that know me know that I have a very close tie with the unaliving way of death. Sure, it exists. So
It does.
I'm not discrediting that, because let me
Right.
tell you, I know it does.
Right. Exactly.
And you'll all be horrified to find out how I know so clearly, crystal
tune in
clear
next week. No.
that it exists.
Us laughing. I'm sorry.
Us
They're like,
laughing.
no,
I
they're going to
mean,
be
you
so
know
mad
what?
at
Once
us for
you
that.
heal and get to the other side of a
Yeah.
certain trauma, it's not that it's funny, but,
But I'm allowed to laugh at my
you know
own
what?
things.
Yeah.
Like,
you can deal with it in whatever way you want.
Right.
And you know, I did EMDR, I did therapy. Like, I
Right.
was able to, which EMDR some say
is like one of the better.
a little mind control-ish.
It is.
Because it can,
Well, it makes you shift your perspective.
right. Well, it takes it literally from one side of your brain and with hand movements and that, and puts it to the other. I am not anti, because I believe it saved my life.
Right.
Because I was like flashbacks are a real thing.
Yeah.
And you know, they don't necessarily come when you think they're going to come. And
Yeah.
when they come, what it is that you're not like having a flashback, like you're in the moment,
No.
kind of, but you're seeing, smelling, and like,
And your body's reacting.
is reacting.
Yeah.
Like your eyes, like I was driving on the freeway once and I remember seeing images and I'm
Right.
like,
It just, like,
I'm on the
pops in.
road.
Yeah.
And I don't see the road and the cars.
Right.
I'm seeing those images. So I
Right.
pulled over
Yeah.
and I called my Pastor Mike, and I was
Right.
like, not okay right now.
Right.
And I shouldn't be on the freeway. And he kind of talked me through it. But
Yeah.
again, we'll get into that.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So, but yeah, back to,
The MK.
we like to,
Okay. But no, the reason that I think that this is still happening is because the goal of this project was to change the mindset of the American people. That was the goal. And allegedly, you know, Russia was the first people that were experimenting in mind control. And that's why the US was like, no, we're going to be mind controlling first.
right.
And like, actually, like I was listening to a podcast, and I don't know if this is true or not, but one of them said, yeah, well, in 2009, Bill Gates developed mind control. And then they just
2009?
moved on from it. Yeah. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean in 2009, Bill Gates developed mind control? Nobody ever touched on that again. And I
That's
couldn't find
because
any information about it
that's what I'm
again.
seeing is so weird, and people are
Like-
all into the fact check shit.
Yeah. And I
but
would
yet
love to
they
be able
don't.
to check a fact. Like,
Yeah.
like I would love to be able to like,
It's like, oh, well, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen because we can only talk about past stuff, like
Right.
not the current stuff that's going on, because it will
Right.
get taken down.
Exactly. And it's just that, like, if I was trying to, you know, make a country of people who were very excited to work and make money and put those things above everything else, and have this like I'm just only getting money mindset and like this like, oh, like sex sells and all of this. If you look at our country right now, like these are the biggest industries are the sex industry, the gambling industry, and the liquor industry.
Right.
Well, and drug industry, obviously.
Right.
So those are like the big four, right? And
Sex, drugs, and money.
sex, drugs, and money. And it's like when we have started to normalize so many things, like honestly, I feel like we're getting brainwashed into normalizing
That.
so many things that like so that the powers that be, whoever they are, can just have more money. Like we're literally just like robots for them. Like sheep. We're sheep for them.
Yeah.
And so like whenever people like us start challenging these ideas and they start being like, well, you know, it's like, oh, well, you don't accept people. You don't love people. You
Right.
don't know. That's
Right.
that's actually exactly why I'm bringing this up.
Right.
Because I do love people.
And
Because
the
I
people
do
that are
accept
talking
people.
a lot about this acceptance and love and all this are like
Right.
the most divisive
Right.
people that I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm not even
Exactly.
grouping, you know, people might say, are you talking about liberals? Or I'm talking about the people that
No.
are like that.
I'm talking about people. Like I am the type of person, like I feel like because I feel like I'm like right in the middle. Like I feel like I don't lean.
like you're centrist.
Like
yeah.
I'm very centrist, and I know people that are like the most extreme kind of liberals. I literally know people that like if you even say the president's name, they'll be
They
like,
are
"Oh
like-
my god, I cannot
they
hang out with
will
you."
die, yeah.
And then I know people that if I do say his name, they're like, "Oh my god, he's the best person in the entire world. Did you see that he posted this?" And blah, blah. And I'm like, so I'm like,
It's
me,
extreme.
I'm
It's
in the middle.
extreme both ways.
Yeah. And so
Obviously, we know which way I'm leaning. I'm
Right,
not in the middle,
exactly.
but I wouldn't call
Right.
myself an extremist.
no, you're not. No, because
I can
most
listen
people
to-
aren't.
right.
That's the thing. But they have like brainwashed us into believing that it is like this half
Or
believes
you
this
have
and
to
this
be
half
an
believes
extremist,
this.
or you're
Yeah.
not like supporting that side.
Right.
Like if you are not a massive extremist, like
Right.
you know, people protesting Target for whichever way, they're either pro DEI or not. So
Right.
whatever side is protesting,
Right.
if you walk into Target and you're on that other side, they're like, you're not one of us.
Right.
And it's like, give me a fucking break. I'm going to Target and I'm getting some, I need to go buy
Yeah.
something.
No,
like,
deadass.
let's calm down.
I feel the same way.
We're not going to change Target and we're not going to change the world.
Right.
In what, like, I'm all for friendly protest. You know,
Yeah.
you're free to do that.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
are 100% free to do that.
And
That is the
I'm
beautiful
so
part
pro it, yeah.
of this country
Right.
that you all hate so much. You
but-
are allowed to act like fucking fools in the street.
Exactly.
And we all have to be okay with it.
But they don't even act fools in the street anymore. By the way, public protesting is not posting on Facebook. That's not what that is. Yeah, it turns out like you actually have to like go in public and protest out
okay.
there. That's the only way you're ever going to make a difference. But so many people just like comment on the internet instead of, I don't know.
And like, I will say, not everybody acts like fools.
No.
But there are people that definitely do
Yes.
destroy cities,
What-
their own cities, which is
Yeah.
even more bizarre.
Wait, the weird thing. Wait, what city is it that every time their football team wins, they trash
They
the whole
actually
city?
destroy their own city.
I'm like, why? Like,
And it's
I know
like-
that's a thing. Like, I can't remember
It's
what
like,
team
A,
it is,
you guys
but like,
won, and
Like-
B, you
if I was their
destroyed
coach,
your
the
city.
NFL coach, I'd be like, okay, guys,
Like, at this point,
I do want you to win, but
But what's the point? Like, what?
yeah, no, I don't
Just
know.
to make a statement?
I
Or-
don't know.
I
Like, that's the part that's confusing to me. Is I'm like,
especially
wait,
if they're taxpayers. It's like, well, you just cost yourself money.
so much money. Yeah,
And
yeah,
the town you should have pride in the city you live in, and if you have pride
Correct.
for your team, then you shouldn't destroy the city you live in. Very odd.
that part, 100%.
Right.
But yeah, no, I definitely think that, or I might possibly think that,
We never deny or
I'm not confirming or denying
Confirm.
a damn thing, y'all. I confirm and deny everything. What is it? Yes and no.
yes and no.
I'm not explaining further.
No, you don't
Like,
have to. And that's
yeah.
the thing.
Well,
And
sometimes I will if I want to, but-
Right. If we want to. But that's the beauty. Like, that's where people get confused is they're like, no, you should say it. You should. And no, I don't have to. I can say whatever the fuck I feel. And
like
that's,
make your own podcast then.
like, yeah. Like, don't fucking listen.
Like,
or
it's
don't
so
watch
easy.
our reels. Like, go away.
Wait, there's this thing if I go,
right.
like, I
out of
can't
sight,
hear
out of
you.
mind. Like, if I see something on Instagram or I don't scroll through TikTok because
It's scary.
it's
It's a
I'm
scary
talking about
place.
mind control. let's talk on that. That's the next subject of
Yeah.
why social media ties into that. But
it does.
If I see something I don't like, I literally click I click the little dots and I click not interested.
Yeah.
I don't go on it and be like,
that's what I do as
"Fuck
well.
you."
That's
Like,
exactly what I do as well. Which
funny
it's crazy
thing.
that you can like edit your algorithm to, you know,
Yeah.
unless you like hate.
I think
and
that's
you
what
like
it is.
hate
I think
comments
they like
and
being miserable.
and it builds up your adrenaline.
And they constantly post about it or things that they hate. And I think that they think that they're being proactive, but I think that they just like being miserable, because living your
Right.
life and being your best and being happy also might like be a statement to make.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you hate
Right.
the president.
Right.
Being your happy self and living your best life
Right.
might be the statement of the century to make.
I think so, because it's
Posting
like,
on Instagram and Facebook about how much you hate him,
right.
what is that? Are you
Right, because
changing things? Is that
the
doing
thing-
something? Or I don't.
I
Just
not,
curious.
Not to say that I have a similar mindset as not me being like, I'm exactly the same. No,
Right.
but when people hate me or people hate on me, I like, okay. So recently I found out that I have some like actual real life, like preying on my downfall haters, like of people I know. Yeah. I was like, wait, what do you mean people hate me? Someone told me. I never would have guessed. I don't
Oh.
care if you hate me. Like,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
you're like, that's the thing is I probably didn't
like,
even
do you
notice
think
'cause-
he's losing sleep at night because you hate him? No,
No.
he's not. Do you think he's any less rich? Do you think he's any less powerful? Do you think he's any less famous
Right.
because of the hate? No.
So if you show like living your life, doing the best you can, maybe if you do want to go to some protests or something that you think could make a change, cool. But
Right.
like live your
Absolutely.
life. These people are
Support
like
your
miserable.
community. Like, you go in your community and you support your community. Like, you can make differences around you in your
Yeah.
own spaces. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like when you like let's just take it into like even like a spiritual aspect of it. Like, if you're giving away that hate, like, you don't like
You're
you
not
could-
bringing anything
no,
positive
it's
to
nothing.
the
You're
world
just
or anything.
What you send out is what you receive. So like when you're hateful all the time and you're sending out so much hate, then it's like, guess what you're gonna get back into your life?
Right.
It's not goodness.
Like, we're living our life.
I really love my life. Like,
we're happy. Like, that's what I'm saying is like,
That's what
even
I'm
if
saying,
we're
like-
talking about certain things that may come off as negative, or
Yeah.
we're talking about our opinions,
Right.
I'm cool with that. Like I said, you can talk about your opinion all you want, but
Right.
if your basis of your life
yeah.
is posting about how much you hate something,
Right. That's weird.
what are you doing?
No, literally, I'm like, find
Are you enjoying your life
find
at
one
all?
joy. I'm begging you.
Like,
I'm
take a
begging
break,
you.
take like a week break, and then go back to hating everything.
Yeah.
But it's like
Like, put down your phone. It's
go
okay.
like spend time with your kids and
Yeah, and if you
or
don't
your
have
friends.
touch grass.
touch grass.
Literally, like,
Go
if
outside,
you
lay in
take
the
your
sun,
shoes off
like,
and you put your
anything.
feet in grass,
Right.
it
It grounds you.
It quite
Right.
literally grounds
Right.
you. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Pray.
Like, sometimes
Read your Bible.
It's like really.
I know not everybody is going to be on that same.
Yeah, and if you don't want to read
journey.
your Bible, fine. Read a self-help book. Meditate. Same
Go
thing.
like
It's
eat
literally
some
the same thing.
chocolate. I don't know. Do something.
Yeah, whatever you want. Do
But,
like just do
Lord.
something that you're happy about. Like, watch a show. Like, God, like, I don't know. Like,
So
like, you can do other things.
there's
like,
other things. There's other things literally besides posting on Facebook about how much you despise our president and all Republicans. Like, seriously.
Yeah. And
seriously.
it's totally fine. Like, if you just have hate in your heart and that's who you are, you're a
Yeah.
hater, that's great. I have a club that you can join.
right.
I love haters. I love you guys so much. Like, honestly, like, it really just brings me so much joy to know that it's taking time out of your day to like
Tyler was just telling
hate me.
100%. Tyler was telling me like how many famous people have said that statement. There's like a ton that have basically along the lines of like, you know, not quoting, but along the lines of if you don't have haters or people that are watching or people that are like
Right.
jealous or
Right.
mad, you're doing something wrong.
Exactly. And I
You're
want
not
to be
there.
a-
You're not up there enough that people just don't care.
Yes.
But if you're hating, then it's like, you know,
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, I don't want to be like, just do like, I want to cause conversations. I want people to be talking
Yeah.
about things, because I feel like now, back to the brainwashing, I feel like now in society, everyone has gotten brainwashed to not say anything because you might offend someone, or you might trigger
Right.
someone, or you might do something. And I'm like, no, but I have these genuine questions, and I actually feel this way, and I want to know. You're like I'm getting ready.
I'm sweating.
I'm like, I think that I like, it drives me bonkers, because you're telling me that because it might trigger someone, I'm not allowed to ask questions. I'm not allowed to be curious. I'm not allowed to be afraid. I'm not allowed to not
Or
understand.
like us with our
like,
opinion on the furries. Like, we
No.
were attacked, but they
yeah,
can,
but exactly, like that. But that's also something that, like, I don't expose
why
you
do
to
we
my
have
kink
to
in
be
public.
okay with it?
I don't have to be okay with it.
We
And like, I
don't.
don't have to accept it. It's
We
not,
don't. Yeah.
It's not something that is like, well, I think it's weird. Yeah. And that's my opinion. I think it's strange. I think it's weird. I don't expose you to any of my kinks in public. Right. Why are you doing that?
Right.
Like, it's like the
We
same
didn't
as a
say that
flasher.
it's illegal. Like,
Like,
somebody said, like, it's not illegal, but can I publicly shame them? Yes.
Yeah.
And I agreed with that. Like, it's not illegal. You're right. But
no, it's not illegal to wear
just
whatever you
because
want.
something's legal.
But it should be illegal, just like flashers are illegal, because
Right.
I don't want to see your kink in public. Like, that's what I think. Like, a mascot, that's different than a furry.
Oh, I know. Somebody said
like
the
a
Easter Bunny.
cosplay. And
Get
no,
the fuck out of here,
I
dude.
think honestly,
Like,
though, no, like, cancel the Easter Bunny too. Like, fuck him, he's scary.
I know, right?
Like, that is another one. It does scare me. Like, when I do see the Easter Bunny, like, at the mall and
kids
stuff.
do be traumatized.
Even
They're, like,
Santa,
running.
I be getting traumatized from that. So, like, it scares me. I can't even lie.
But
like,
then it goes back to, we didn't say that they're the only people causing trauma in the world. They really are
No.
small. They said this is not a big issue, and they're right. There's
It's not a big
small
issue.
community that really no one cares about.
Yeah.
And that's why they hide behind these things, because
Right.
they want to be accepted, which
yeah,
cool.
and I
Go
love
for
that
it.
you're accepted within your community. And I think that, like, even I was talking to one of my friends today, and she was telling me about, like, even at the Ren Fair, people don't get dressed for the Ren Fair until they're in the parking lot of the Ren Fair. They're not doing their entire day before the Ren Fair in their Ren Fair outfits.
Right.
So, like, if that's what you're going to do, if you're going to go to a convention, just get dressed there. Like, it's not that hard to do. Like, and like, it's just the same as, like, if I was gonna go to like a rope tying up person thing, I'm
Right.
not gonna pre-tie the ropes,
Right.
and then go to the convention. Like, no, like, I'm gonna do it there. Like, like, I'm sorry. Like,
what were you saying about a second ago? And I, like, got flustered. Like, I got so flustered.
Well, it's because we're brainwashed not to talk about people's
Oh,
things,
okay.
because
Yes. So you were saying that we were brainwashed, and people might be like, brainwashed? Yes, brainwashed
Yeah.
into being afraid to speak our minds or
Right.
speak what we want to speak because it's going to offend somebody.
Right.
Okay. It goes even deeper than that. People are now afraid to, there's a little old lady being fucking mugged in a parking lot, and people are afraid to jump in because what kind of backlash they're going to get, or there's somebody being attacked. So especially when race gets involved.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which everything doesn't have to be about race, which,
No.
you know,
It
I'm going
doesn't.
to tell my husband not to put this fucking clip on
No.
online, because they're going to.
No, I feel like we'd get murdered.
Yeah, and I don't even want to hear the bullshit because it's so fucking ridiculous. But
Right.
now people are afraid to help other people because what's going to happen?
What's going to happen to
What's
me?
going to happen to them?
What if I stand up to this person?
Right.
What if I save
What race
someone
are
from
they?
killing
What's
themselves?
this?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Are they male or female? It's
Is
a
this-
whole thing.
right.
So they're letting people, like, literally film. Instead, they're just filming people being, like, beaten, and it's like,
Right.
what the fuck are
Help.
you doing? Like, I'd probably
Help.
try to jump in. Like,
No, literally.
I mean, which of course people would be like, okay, you're going to risk your life when your children are at home. But it's like, somebody should try to do something.
Right.
Like,
No,
you would hope that
literally.
they would for you.
I would hope that my hope would be that, you know, people are decent enough, and, like, there are people in there. Like, if I'm the only person and someone's getting attacked, like, I'm gonna throw some rocks at least,
Something.
like,
Yell,
something,
scream,
like, yell,
not just
scream,
sit and
call the
film.
police.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm
You're
not just gonna be
afraid
like,
or embarrassed to help
oh my
somebody.
gosh, this is happening.
Meanwhile, I will say in Florida, thank you
Mm-hmm.
very much, that kid, there was a woman who's, some man came and tried to kidnap her kids in the parking lot of the DMV.
Oh, I saw
and
that.
they'd be running outside.
Yeah.
20 people ran outside and
Florida's a
stopped
little
him.
different.
Yeah. So I guess I'm referencing more to California, where I'm
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
But there was aunties running out. There was like little old ladies that were running out after this guy, and I was like, you get them.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's dope.
And I think that that's really cool. And I do understand that it's risky. And I do understand, you know, people have guns and stuff sometimes. But like, obviously, like, assess the situation. But also concealed carry. Like, come on. Like, sorry, I don't know if we're supposed to, like, have an opinion on that one. I'm like, sorry, I'm from Texas.
Like, I'm getting a freaking headache, man, because that's a whole nother ball game of people that want to make it about something that it's not.
Right. I'm like, it's really just like, we should help each other and stand up for each other. And like, if you see someone in danger, like, help them.
Right.
Like, help them.
Right.
Like, it's not that hard. Like,
those same people that are not helping are also anti-cop.
Right.
So then you don't want the cops to come help, and you're not going to come help.
Right.
So when you're in that position and you're getting fucking jumped or robbed or, God forbid, something worse.
Yeah.
Do you want the cops to not come, and do you want other people to not step in?
Right. Like, trained professionals. And I understand that like I'm being so realistic. Like, I understand that that the media has like done this whole thing with like ACAB and like, you know, fuck the police, like all of this stuff. And it's crazy to me because statistically, it's less than 10%. Statistically, it is less than 10% of law enforcement officers that abuse their power.
Oh,
isn't that
people
insane?
are gonna fucking...
People are gonna be so mad that I just said that.
I'm faint. Like, I'm faint. Because you know what? That's not what's pushed in the media,
right?
Though. So
that's
people
like,
are going to be like, how is it less than 10%? Where are you getting your numbers? Because they don't want to believe it. So our numbers are wrong.
Right.
Their
like,
numbers
there's no
are
way
going to
that
be right
be true.
Because they watch the news.
Yeah, they're like 98%.
They watch the news.
Right.
And they watch, you know, one incident that happened when, do you know how many officers are out on the road right now?
Yeah.
And there's incidents happening that aren't being like
literally
reported or being covered on the news.
Yeah.
The ones that are is because it's controversial.
Right.
And they're like, ooh, this pushes our narrative in some way. And they're going to twist it before it's even investigated. And there's a determination of, was it an abuse of power or whatever. So then they let the public determine that.
Right.
Which, yes, the police are public servants.
Yeah.
But also, they're humans and they're people.
Right.
And so they get to go through the investigation just like anybody else does. But you are 100% right. That 10%, do you know how many people are going to be like, nope, no way. That's wrong.
Not true. That's wrong. That's
100%.
It's
less
not.
than 10%
It's not.
abuse their
Like,
power. And that's within any job.
No, it's general. That's
and
like
yes,
a
they are
general thing.
they are held to a higher standard,
Yeah,
which
as they should be. Yeah. But it's also
that
like,
doesn't mean there's not going to be bad ones, or just like I said, in any job there's bad doctors, and people are like people put them on like a pedestal. There are tons of doctors that are for the people, want to help people, give their time, really genuinely want to heal people. And then there's doctors that could give a they're doing some
just want money.
Dirty shit.
Oh, I've heard some crazy things.
Dirty shit.
Like
killing people on purpose. On purpose. So let's not go there. We're not hearing a whole lot about that. We're hearing about the police, because
my thing is, and
they want chaos.
They do want chaos. And like this, what I'm about to say is like actually like gonna anger a lot of people, I know for sure. But like, it's the same people that are screaming like all cops are bad, this is horrible, this and that, are the same people that's protecting that child molester and their family for 10 years.
Right.
Like, you're saying nothing about the fact that your uncle's been diddling all of your children, but cops are bad.
Cops are bad, and they're also protesting and protecting like violent criminals.
Right.
And they're
It's insane. It's insane to me. And like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that the government isn't misdoing things in terms of like 100%. How they're handling any situation right now. I'm not going to sit here and say that like
that's gonna be no matter what.
That's going to, because they don't know what they're doing.
And they're not for the people. Like, they don't give a fuck.
They don't care.
They are for
like
the back to the brainwashing, back to the mind control. They are for how to get everybody to comply and stay in line and do what they want them to do. That's literally been their motive from day one, and it's still their motive. Do what we tell you to do. The biggest social experiment was, like we mentioned before,
COVID.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because that was a social experiment.
Yeah.
And it showed that there are people willing to comply.
Not Florida.
But, then people started waking up and they're like, fuck, we got to do it different now. So be ready, because
Yeah.
whatever it may be next
Right.
is going to be more discreet. They were a
Right.
little messy with this one.
Exactly. Because they can't.
It was a little obvious. Even people that were hardcore liberal were like, there were some people that were like, wait,
Question
hold
mark.
on, this is
Yeah, no, literally
something
the
doesn't seem right.
the push for the vaccines or whatever, like that whole thing was like the thing that I feel like turned, like I knew some people that were very, very, very like extremist liberal, like very like and I get your passion. I understand your passion.
Right.
It's just misdirected. I'm like,
Right.
it's just misdirected. And like, yes, fight for your causes, but your passion is being misdirected.
Right.
And so like, it's just stuff like that when they're like, oh, you have to get a vaccine. I'm like, hold on.
Right.
You're telling me
Which then turned
someone
to
I just had it.
anti-vaccine.
Yeah. Like but I had COVID and I almost died from it. And
There's a video
I'm-
of Dr. Fauci stating I hate that I don't remember which news outlet it was, but they said, okay, so the biggest defense, should this woman get a vaccine for the flu? This is years ago. This is way before COVID. And he said, no. He said, the biggest defense is having the virus.
Right.
She had the flu already, so she is protected.
Exactly.
This same man
said that.
and people just ignore that he said that.
Right.
But they trust him.
Right. Because he was the one that
They trust him,
the
but
news
they don't
is telling us to
trust-
trust.
The other stuff he said, they're trusting what he's saying right
Right.
now because it goes with them feeling like, I don't want to admit that I was fucking duped. I don't want to
Right.
admit that I was part of a social experiment
That they continually run on us.
that they're
all
still
of the time.
running. Right.
Like new TikTok. I'm gonna say new TikTok because
Wait,
do
what?
you remember when the TikTok ban happened?
No, because I see.
it didn't. The TikTok ban.
I have
didn't
Instagram
happen.
and I have Facebook. I
Yeah.
don't have TikTok. I don't have X. You know, Tyler was
Right.
like, everybody has X for the podcast. And I said,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. And I won't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
X is a little extreme.
And I'm glad that you agree.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay with that, by the way.
No,
We didn't
yeah, that's
discuss
fine.
that.
No, X. Yeah, we're talking
but
live in
I'm not-
person.
we're just gonna go ahead and I'm sorry,
Solidifying
hard
detail.
launch that. If you're okay with that, because I do, we run
Yeah.
everything by each other.
We probably won't be doing X.
I don't
just
think
feel like-
I'm not okay with it. I
It's
don't want to
not-
be part of it. I don't want to support it.
And plus, like, not to be like super like conspiracy theorists on it, but there are just so many like bots that like it's like not
it's
even.
just-
It's just a hateful,
Even TikTok, like
lusty
I'm,
play. Well, that's what I'm talking about. So
okay, please,
so
because I don't know about this.
they were going to ban TikTok, right?
I do remember that.
they deleted the app for like 48 hours,
And
right?
people died, like not died.
No.
I'm sorry, people like were people
Basically.
freaking out.
No, everyone freaked out because we thought it was gone forever, and then they're like, "JK, TikTok's back." However,
It's different.
my TikTok algorithm before they shut it down and after they shut it down are not like completely different. I don't see like I was getting like a lot of like I like educational stuff and like that kind of content and like I like those little I get a lot of those little tarot card ones and I'm like, how accurate are you gonna be about my life?
my
And then
gosh.
I'm like, no, next.
No,
I was
because
like, no,
we
you're
can't.
not. No.
You know me. I'm
Oh
like,
no, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I just think that it's funny that they're always like so general. They're
right.
like,
No,
they're
I
like,
totally. They're like, you will
"So
wake up
you
today
had an
and
X
see
before."
the sky. Right.
And the sky, there might be like a cloud, and it's
You
like
may
in a
have
shape
family.
that you recognize.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I totally have had an
Those are
X
like-
before.
Those are like, what is it? Cumulus clouds. I see those a lot. They're the fluffy ones.
So
but-
that goes back to
Yeah.
subliminal messaging.
It is.
mind
And
control. Like,
but
if you're
that's
gonna
what I was
tell
gonna
me
say.
that
Now
that's, they
it's
shut
like-
it down.
Every other thing is like a future predict, a tarot thing, a like this, like on my algorithm, like, and it was not like that at all before. Like I actively started doing that thing where I'm like not interested, not interested, and it like automatically made you follow certain accounts like Facebook and Instagram and like all of these things. So like until I went in and I like blocked those accounts, like after I blocked those accounts, like all the ones that it made us follow, my algorithm kind of went a little bit back to what it was before.
But the fact
like,
that they shut it down and people just think it was because of a ban, obviously they were doing something.
Well, they collected all of our data is
Right.
what they did. And it just took 48 hours to do it.
They
like,
needed a little time. They needed everybody to be off the app for a second.
right.
Wow. That's
Like-
amazing that the algorithm was different. I do
Yeah.
know that men have stated that on their algorithm, no matter how many times they put not interested. And then there's going to be people that are going to say, oh, that's just their excuse. And there's like men that have shown them doing it. And there's still like the OnlyFans and like girls being pushed.
Yeah.
And
no, that's the other thing. My algorithm, like, okay, so I've brought this up before. Like there's this like OF house called like the Bop House or something like that.
Yes.
I, before the TikTok ban, had never heard of them before. I had never heard of them before. And then all of a sudden I started getting like one specific girl. I'm not going to like give their names.
Yeah, that's fine.
But she does a podcast. And I actually don't disagree with a lot of the things she says, because she's one of the people that's like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. This is what you're actually getting yourself into. Like, and so I like have respect for that. Yeah. But I had never heard of any of it. And now it's all over my TikTok. Like all the time. It's all over my Snapchat stories all the time. And it's like, I'm not actively engaging in this content. Like on Snapchat specifically, I just go through my friend's stories, and then after the friend stories are over, it just starts showing you other stories. And those are always the ones that are popping up. And I'm like, I don't care about these people. Like,
see?
I was like Khloe Kardashian for such a long time, like, because I like her. She's my favorite Kardashian. And so I would see her updates, like, and then, but I stopped even seeing those. It's like literally only like OF things. And it's like, and I could understand if I was like actively engaging in this content, like, but I'm not. Right. Like, that's the thing about it. I'm like, I'm genuinely. You're like,
I'm genuinely not. Like, I could care less about saying that I was.
It makes me also wonder, like, I kind of want to do an experiment to where, like, I make a TikTok and I say that I'm a male, and I like what starts, put in all the and just see what it starts suggesting to me, because it's like, it's weird.
I mean, like I said, Tyler had started doing the not interested thing, and it kind of helped. Like, it did help, but the fact that it was showing him, like, not anything crazy, but you know, and like one of his friends also posts a lot about it and says that he is constantly pushed this stuff, and he doesn't engage, he doesn't look it up. And again, there's going to be skeptics that are like, oh, they're just making excuses as to why it's on their feed. And he's like, there's people like, I don't have a reason to lie. I don't have anything I'm hiding from anybody. Like, they could be like a single dude, and they're like, no, like I'm being pushed this agenda.
Exactly. Like, and I think it's a huge thing. Like, I think that's one of the biggest social experiments run right now, is because now it, like, they want men to purchase sex. Right. They want them to purchase it. And so if I was a marketing person, and this is how they do that. By the way, when you buy ads on Instagram and stuff like that, you put like, I want to market to men aged 25 to 40, this, like that is who they push it to. So if they're paying to advertise to those specific kinds of people,
whether they're engaging with that type of thing or not,
that's who they're 100%. Advertising to. And so it has, in turn, I feel like, created this, and I'm in the dating world now.
I know. I'm sorry for that. For you.
Save me.
I know.
And I
Which
literally,
makes it probably harder.
It is so hard to meet a man now who isn't addicted to porn, who isn't, who doesn't view women. No. I know that they're out there. I know that they exist, but it's just like, now more than ever, it's so
it's
bad.
It's normalized.
It's normalized,
like,
and it shouldn't be.
Normalizing everything is not necessarily a good thing.
No, it's not.
I mean,
like,
people want to push this normalizing word, and it's like, I even see. Oh my god, I just saw this post, and it was like a lady that her house was like atrocious. Like, I'm talking like. Yeah. Food on the floor, wrappers, her kids are like dirty. Yeah. And, you know, no judgment. Maybe she's got some shit going on. Right. But she said, can we normalize this? Not everybody's house is perfect and clean and this and that. And I'm like, why are we normalizing things like that?
No, filth I don't normalize. Like, I understand, like, lived in, messy. I get that. Like, you know,
I mean,
maybe you have
personally,
like,
you see,
no, you don't. Like, no, literally, guys, she got 2 coasters for my drinks. Like, that's
like but you know what? And that, again, I don't judge. Like, that's how I want to do it. Right. But the whole thing of saying like, that's like me going on and saying, can we normalize a clean house? Your house better be fucking clean, or you're a piece of shit. Like, this whole like,
it's not.
That's like her saying like, can we normalize this? Because if your house is super clean, you're superficial. Like, it all goes back to like this weird.
like it's just trying to
judgment.
pit us against each other.
Yes,
when there's not an actual division.
Like I don't care how your house is. I'm not there, so I could give a fuck.
Exactly.
My house is going to be how it's going to be, whether you like it or not.
Right.
So it's like, why is there this divisive, weird shit because of social media?
It is. It is so divisive and it is so weird. And like, especially with the clean house stuff, because it's like, okay, I understand, like, you have toddlers running around, you have all of this stuff. Like, it is damn near impossible to keep up with a child, let alone multiple. Okay. But no, just pick it up at the end of the day.
It's not.
Like, you're like, it's actually possible.
Actually super possible. But again, I'm not in your house. You're not in my house.
Yeah.
So social media has welcomed people into like those
Right.
private areas where now she probably feels like she has to say that, like, oh, my house is a mess. It's like, you don't have to.
But you can also say, I need help.
Right. Like
you can say that, like, and genuinely, like, for me, because I am someone that, like, I didn't grow up learning how to learning how to clean, because my mom was, and she knows this, like, obviously my mom was a drug addict and we lived in a trap house and it was filthy all the time. I had to learn how to clean, right? But what did I do? Like, I'll even still sometimes when I like start to like feel like, oh my God, like I have a lot going on, like, I need to clean, blah, blah, blah. I'll literally be like to one of my friends, I'm like, hey, can you like come over and just like talk to me while I'm cleaning or something like that? Like,
but that makes you probably feel better once it's done.
And once it's done, you feel so much better. It helps your mental health. Like, I don't want to normalize people living in bad mental health. Like,
right.
And if you are, because you can't, if your space is dirty, your mind is cluttered, like it
well, and all those women say that. They're like, I was in a depressive episode, or so they're not like happy during that. So it's like, why are we normalizing that instead of saying, like, let's normalize getting out of that, getting out of the trenches,
asking our friends for help.
Right.
Let's normalize being a community.
Right.
Let's normalize being there
not
for each other.
Not being divisive.
Like,
like. But that's again where we go
except
back to
for furries.
Control.
Fuck you guys.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Mind control. Now they've really found a way to do it though with the social media where they don't even have to be like, here's LSD. Let's just go ahead and if you speak something, it's going to be an ad on your social media.
Right.
And people always go, oh my God, that's so weird. I was just talking about that. It's not a coincidence, A.
No, I'm
and
like,
B,
oh my
if
God,
you
that's so
ever
weird.
looked, like if my husband looks up something on his phone, I get an ad for it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, no, I told you about, I have a Spanish, a friend. I have a Spanish friend. Anyways, whenever that said friend is at my place and they are speaking Spanish,
what comes up on your phone?
Literally, I get, no, not on my phone, on my TV. All the ads start being in Spanish.
Holy
I'm not joking.
shit.
And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. Like, I'm not sitting here. Like, I listen to Bad Bunny sometimes, but not often enough. Not often enough to like.
Wait, so if that doesn't tell you that there's something going on and that they're listening or whoever the fuck is listening.
That's the weirdest part.
How would it know that? How does it know to do that?
How do you know that there's someone in my house speaking Spanish?
Because there's all AI shit listening and picking up keywords, key sounds, all of that to push whatever it is they want you to see.
Yeah.
It's disturbing.
So and, these kind of experiments started back in the 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still happening.
Yeah.
Just because they destroyed some documents doesn't mean it's not happening. They destroyed the Epstein list too.
I was just going to say.
Does that mean it didn't happen?
Destroyed there's a lot of documents.
They could blow up the island. And it still happened.
Then they can easily just call it a conspiracy.
Right.
Immediately.
It's like,
there's been
real.
tons of presidents, tons of government things that have had documents destroyed. So now it's a conspiracy because they don't have the solid proof. But the solid proof is that the documents were destroyed.
Right.
That's all the proof I need.
Right. Because
you see the guy that gets caught cheating or girl that gets caught cheating and they grab they grab their phone and they will break their own phone.
Oh,
and I'm like, dude, you just broke your own phone. That's how afraid you are that you're going to get like caught.
What? No, it's so crazy.
That's you destroying the evidence is admission to guilt. Sorry, you're not going to change my mind.
If you destroy the evidence, if you weren't guilty, you would have let me see the evidence. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's.
You would be urging me.
You'd be like, no, I'm not guilty.
Look,
here's the evidence. I'm not guilty.
Yes.
Like especially in like a situation like that. Like, I don't know. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, I just think that like whenever we get to sorry, there's just this other thing that I know about like a lot of the presidents. So Max, the doctor guy, with JFK.
Yeah.
So sorry. It's just like when it comes to talking about JFK, I get really nervous.
Why?
Because people
They get weird.
They get weird about this one. Like they get weird about JFK. Like when you start, well, because like allegedly, like this like kind of led to his.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 And so also like Jackie O was also taking the same thing that he was taking.
Oh, really?
So was Marilyn Monroe.
I was gonna say, I was honestly so odd that you said that. I was gonna be like, but was
Yep. And guess
his
who was
mistress?
the patient first? Marilyn.
okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's how that happened.
So
Anyways.
then
And then
instead of being a
and then
John, she just used the president.
Overdosed.
Right.
Yeah, because
Again,
she had all the information
Back to
on the
all the people that definitely did not unalive
all the information
themselves.
on the president. Because guess what? Just like
Did
at the
not.
beginning of the
Did
episode,
not.
we learned LSD or not, after you sleep with a man, he will confess his secrets to you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And they do. I can't tell.
So
like,
now all the women out there are gonna be like, honey,
I was like,
all these men are
hang
getting
out.
laid now because of us.
Because
You're
we're
welcome.
trying. Yeah.
You're fucking welcome.
We single-handedly just solved the male loneliness epidemic.
100%.
Like,
100%.
just get your info, girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just so crazy because if anyone had, I don't know, literally all the information on the president and like they wouldn't want that information to get out, like maybe it would be because that was also like
it would behoove them to have them OD.
right. It's like wow, what a coincidence that
Yeah.
that happened. Such a coincidence.
Do we think? Okay, so let's go to the moon landing. Real
Okay,
quick. Do
yeah.
we think that was a distraction of some kind?
Yeah, something else definitely had to have been going on. Well, because this is my
Because
thing.
that's the biggest argument. Is like, well, why would they do that?
I think they're trying.
Why
to
would they
distract
lie?
us
Why
from-
would they do that?
I think they're trying to distract us from like this whole like tariff situation and how we're like fighting with
No,
China and
not
Canada.
that. The first moon landing,
Oh, the original one.
the original one.
Oh, that one. I personally think it was to psych out Russia. I think it was to
Right.
beat them.
Like there was more to it.
Right. Because the one thing that America has always been better than everyone else at, besides school shooting. No, I'm sorry.
Oh my!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for
God.
saying that. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's not a false statement.
Besides that is our film industry. Nobody makes movies like America makes movies. We are known for our cinematography, our special effects, how like the America basically single-handedly has the entertainment industry on lock. Like the other countries, they all started doing it after. Like America is literally the blueprint for the entertainment industry and when it comes to film and special effects.
I mean, which is sad because the videos of that were awful.
Horrendous.
They were like you
but
guys,
at the time they were.
That was really.
It was so bad because like, well, one like
I'm looking
the
right
shadows,
now.
the dust, the even the steps. Like it just wasn't. It was.
There's like a picture.
Hold on,
I'll
I
have
think I'm gonna
Tyler pull it
sneeze.
up if we clip this. That says, conspiracy theorists say that the films of the missions were made using sets similar to their training mock-up. So their training mock-up was
Right.
like it. Like I'm looking at a picture of it right now,
Yeah.
and
It looks really similar.
it looks really similar.
Right.
And so, then the experts, just like the experts with
Yeah.
COVID and the scientists,
Yeah.
say that, that the conspiracies are false and that it really happened. And it's
Right.
like, just because an expert says something,
Right.
who are these experts?
Yeah,
Like,
who
what do
are
you
these
mean?
experts?
These experts work for
like,
these
what do you
people.
mean an expert?
Are you guys serious right
like,
now?
how are you saying
Like,
expert? Anyone can call themselves an expert, by the way.
Yeah. And then it says 6% and 20% of Americans, 25% of Britons, and 28% of Russians surveyed believed that the crew landings were fake.
Yeah.
So between 6 and 20% of Americans. So Americans had the lowest percentage that believed it was fake. Why? Because
it was
we were
us.
like-
yeah. It's like
where
you don't win a
everyone else
gold
is
medal
like,
and say, no, we didn't cheat.
yeah.
Like,
Right. But the pictures, the videos, the fact that somebody was filming them take off,
Yeah.
the fact that the cameras were moving.
Well, yeah. I think they
So-
went into a zero G chamber. I do think that happened. I think they went into a simulation chamber.
right.
I absolutely
That's
do.
fine.
Because, like, I've been to space camp before. Well, not like full space camp, but I've been to like NASA in Alabama and stuff, So, like, they have those things available. They're
You guys,
readily available.
They says people ask this question, why haven't we gone to the moon and landed
Yeah.
on it since then? Or
Right.
in between, like, then.
Right, because if the moon has all these valuable resources and it's totally
Do you
cool
want
to
to know?
get to.
Do you want to know what the answer was?
What?
Monetary reasons, financial reasons.
We can't afford to go to
We
the
can't
moon.
afford it.
But they can afford to
time?
send Katy
How
Perry
long?
into space.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
But then we go, so they can send a couple celebrities to space, but we can't
Right.
afford that.
Right. And that's very confusing to me as well, because what do you mean we can't afford to go to the moon, but we can afford to send, like, did they pay for themselves or what? Did they pay to go to the moon?
That's a good question. Did they? Did
I
they
think
have
they
to
would
pay
have
to
had
go?
to have, right? If, we couldn't afford to do it regularly. That's the only thing that makes sense, since we totally did go to the moon, right?
So that's absurd. That is
Yeah.
crazy that
I
we
do
can do
feel-
that. So I don't know.
yeah.
I'd like to research that. Did they pay?
bit more.
If anybody knows, did they pay
Right.
each of them pay to go on there, or was Jeff Bezos just like, "Hey, I want you guys"? Like, I
Right.
wonder what chose them, or did
Yeah,
he
also
like?
because I just don't feel it, like, what is Katy Perry does American Idol now or what?
Yeah.
Like, she's married to Orlando Bloom.
Right. No. Is she still? I don't even know who she's married to.
I'm
No,
pretty
she
sure.
was married to that other weirdo.
Oh no, she was married to him, but now she's married to Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
That's Orlando Bloom.
That's the
I'm
only
pretty
way
sure.
you like it.
Yeah, that's the only way that I recognize him.
So, okay. Well, we're going to have to, maybe it's
Yeah.
a 2-part series because
Yeah.
we always just yap too
We'll
much.
talk about this in the
and
future for sure.
Because both those things didn't happen. And we'd like, leave your comments as to
Yeah.
probably what you think. Did it or
Yeah.
did it not?
Yeah. Do you believe in the moon landing? Yes or no?
And
do you
think
believe in
that
MK
Katy
Ultra?
Perry-
Yes or no?
Yes, MK Ultra. And do you think that Katy Perry and Gail King? I don't even
Gayle
know the other
King,
people.
yeah. I don't know the rest of those. I literally
Did they go? Did
yeah.
they go to space? Because we all saw the door open from the inside,
Right.
And then him come with the pretend tool to open it.
Yeah.
We all saw none of their faces have like any G forces whatsoever
Right.
on the whole video of them
Right.
going up. They're not wearing any
Yeah.
gear or
anybody that's ever
protective
been on a roller coaster.
suits. Yeah.
Has G-force.
And
So
how come there's these astronauts that are saying and rocket scientists that are saying that, upon entry and descent, like you should be wearing something
Yeah.
or have like, some kind of suit on.
Yeah.
And
And I
other celebrities
thought-
that have gone to space were in full gear. They had to do training.
Right.
They had to do like this, and they
That's
had a
what
whole
I'm
crew
saying.
with them.
I-
They had a
I'm
whole crew
pretty
with
sure
them.
that-
Did they
wasn't
go
it
by
that
themselves?
Elon Musk just now, for the first time, successfully landed a rocket back in the atmosphere.
I have a
But
hard time looking at him.
but yeah, I don't look. I just close my eyes.
And
If
here,
I hear
have a
something
hard
about
time
him, I'm like, don't
listening
show
to
me.
him.
But
But on that note,
Yeah.
we're at time. We've gone way too long.
yeah, that's true. But
But this is only the beginning. We'll
this is
talk
literally
more.
the beginning. We have so much more time to go.
There's so much more time. There's conspiracies we need to talk about. Trauma we need to talk about.
Conspiracies, trauma, which
Drama,
next week,
trigger warning.
drama.
DV.
Yeah. We'll talk about everything.
I don't know if we could say it.
Sexuality,
No.
suing
Unaliving.
people. Oh,
Yourself.
I say the sewer slide.
Sewer slide. And again, people are probably like, oh, wow, you're making light of it. It's like, no, it's not. Trust me.
Well, even if I was, what are you going to do? Beat me up?
And you can, because you can
Yeah.
say what you want,
Yeah.
really.
Like, for now, we still have freedom of speech, so.
Right. I've yet to lose any rights.
Right. Yeah.
But,
Same.
I mean, have you?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. See you
But,
later.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment,
Share, follow.
Just whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
If you like
Don't.
us, if you
Also.
don't like us, then, okay.
We don't care.
Then it's fine.
Bye.
Bye.
In the shadows, I found my light. In the chaos, I found my fight.